My name is TERRI Lubaroff, and I'm Chief Operating Officer and Head of Content at Legion M. Legion M is a startup, so we have only 8 full-time employees. Every single employee wears a lot of different hats. Because of my specific skill set, I have a background on the creative side in entertainment, and I'm also a lawyer. I wear both of those hats. So I do all of our legal, I supervise finance and human resources and negotiate all of our contracts, and do all of the operational and management day-to-day stuff along with Paul and Jeff, our CEO and our president. And then on the creative side, reading scripts and evaluating what kinds of material we want to bring in and work on, packaging projects, getting financing for them, negotiating all of those deals, and getting them produced. I am from a very small town in East Liverpool, Ohio, and it was always my dream to work in entertainment since I was probably 2 years old. That's never wavered. I feel like I'm very lucky because most people struggle with what they want to do for a living throughout most of their lives. And I have friends who even now in their 40s are like, I still haven't found what I want to do for the rest of my life. And I've never felt that way. I always knew entertainment was it. So I started looking at film schools and theater schools when I graduated from high school, and traveling the country and touring all these schools. And I happened to be at the University of Florida, and I'm going to date myself, the same weekend that Ron Howard was filming Parenthood on campus. And of course, I was so young and green and naive, and I knew nothing about movies and nothing about the industry. And I was like, oh my God, they film movies here. This is where I have to go. So that's where I went. They did not have a film program, but they had an excellent theater program. And I was a musical theater person. So I majored in musical theater. The university had a student-run pep rally where they give the responsibility of producing that pep rally to a student every year. And you get a huge budget of, a lot of money. And you bring in comedians from Hollywood. We worked with people like Gary Shandling and Dennis Miller and Jerry Seinfeld and just Sinbad. It's just like amazing comedians came in to play the show in front of a stadium of 60,000 people. And it was like a Saturday Night Live, pep rally, Olympic opening ceremony mashup. And it was my goal after I saw my first Gator Girl to produce Gator Girl. I would have been one of the first women ever to produce it. And the day that I learned from my academic counselor that I was going to be graduating a semester early was the same day that I learned that I had been chosen to produce Gator Girl the next year. And I had to be a full-time student. So I called my parents and I said, oh my God, what do I do? I really want to do this. And my dad was like, go to law school. I was lucky enough to have really good grades and the timing was right. And I got a really good score on the LSAT and I went to law school and I produced Gator Girl. So mission accomplished. But that really gave me the opportunity to learn about the entertainment industry from a very professional sense, because I was working with agents and managers and I was producing a big show. It had a budget as big as feature film budgets. And I was doing this in my 20s. Went to law school, graduated from law school, came out to LA, used my contacts that I got in Gator Girl, and then I had done a couple of other movies as an actor, and started working at a talent agency, ICM. I was an agent trainee, learned everything you could possibly learn about the industry. It was the best training ever. You get to know everyone, you get to understand the politics of everything, you get to understand how to make deals. And that just launched me into the rest of my career. And I've bounced back and forth between production company to agency or management company, back to production company. So I've really straddled business and creative throughout my whole career. And now that I'm doing both at the same time, it's really satisfying. I am moved by storytelling. It moves me in a very deep and profound way. And I wanted to make stories that let other people feel the same way that I did. it's something really profound to be able to help someone through storytelling, whether you're helping them just feel better after a bad day, or you're changing their lives because they're learning some truth about themselves. I always say it's not rocket science, it's entertainment, but I think rocket science is magical, and I think, there's a lot of magic to entertainment also. The one thing that I've learned is that when people are part of a community and they've all said, to each other, this is us, this is our little family of movie lovers, there's never any awkwardness. There's never any judgment. Everybody's welcome. Everybody's open. Just the ability to broaden my friendship base and count Legion M members as my friends, I think that's really extraordinary. I kind of look at it, what does being a person in entertainment mean to me, whether you're a man or woman? It means I'm following my passion. It means I don't feel like I ever work a day in my life because I'm doing what I love. People ask me all the time, what is your hobby? And I'm like, it's my work. That might sound sad to people, but that's what I love. I love to go to movies, and I love to watch TV, and I love to read, and I love art, and I love putting creative decks together where I can present something and, make someone feel like, oh my God, I want to be part of that. So from that, it means to me that I have the ability to move people. But as a woman, having lived through the 90s where there was a lot of sexual harassment going on, and I was witness to a lot of it, to now post Me Too, I feel like women in the entertainment industry have a very awesome responsibility, not only to make our voices heard, but to push the norm away when it's negative. And to proactively say, because now we have power, right? So to proactively say, even if we're in an interview process, okay, we've interviewed the people that have been recommended. They've all been recommended by our friends. So they all fit a certain type, because you tend to be friends with people who are like you. And, I really feel like women in the entertainment industry now realize the responsibility that they have to say, no, we have to look outside that type. We have to push. We have to find alternative ways to bring new talent into the industry. And not only that, we have to give them the tools and the resources to succeed. So that includes things like mentorship. It includes things like, quite honestly, being a sounding board for frustration. It includes things, especially in the entertainment industry, like support for working women who have children. Because the entertainment industry is really tough on working moms, because you're traveling all over the place. It's a 24/7 job. How can you support having a healthy family and not being there half the time? So having those resources and being able to say to other women, everybody's struggling with the same things you're struggling with. Let's work together to, if we can't find solutions, at least support each other and be there for each other. And, I have working mom friends who know, I am very lucky. I work from home and they don't. And every once in a while there's an emergency and they know that they can call me and rely on me. And I know the same thing about them. So for me, being a woman in the entertainment industry is being there for other women, and helping lift other women up. There's really no hierarchy in Legion M. Everybody has an equal voice. So Prophetess is our director of finance, but we bring her into creative meetings because she has an amazing perspective and contacts and ideas. And, Claire does events, but she also does business development overseas. I always feel comfortable calling her and saying, hey, do you know so-and-so at this place in England? And she always knows them. She's amazing. So understanding that people bring to the table more than their job title. And I think you get more out of an organization when you're taking advantage of that knowledge. Be sure that this is what you want to do. If there's something else that you would be happy doing that's easier, you should do that. I have spent more time being employed than unemployed, but I have spent a lot of time being unemployed in entertainment. And you have to be prepared to be a freelancer. I mean, jobs rarely last more than 5 or 6 years. And I've worked on the agency side, management side, production company side. Even then, you kind of have to keep moving all the time because you need to get new clients, or you need to level up from your creative executive position to a vice president level position, and there's not room at your current company, so you got to move to a new company. It requires a lot of flexibility and hardiness, a lot of savings, save a lot of money, and a thick skin. My first mentor in the business at ICM, I sat on a desk of the only female Black agent in the entire company. And there were 400 agents, 400 employees at this company. And she gave me such great advice. She said, "Terri, it's not show friend, it's show business. And as long as you remember that, your feelings are not going to get as hurt as they would if you thought everybody was your friend." And you see that in the business, where when you're working in a company that's clicking and you're accomplishing a lot, you get phone calls all day. People want to hear from you. People take your calls. They want to help you. But when that company closes and you're searching for that next job, there's like an in-between moment where you're only as good as your last thing, right? So if your last thing is that your company that you worked for closed, making those phone calls to the same people who couldn't call you back fast enough 6 months ago now won't even return your phone call. You just have to remember, it's show business, not show friend. And it really helped me throughout my career. So those are kind of hard lessons to learn in entertainment, but I think very, very valuable. We're in this extraordinary time. It's like the golden age of television right now. A lot of the executives that we're pitching to are women, and it's such an immense pleasure to develop scripts where if I read something that I think might be off-putting because you're a woman, like I now have the power to say, it's not okay to treat women like your character's like that. Like, that's just not an okay way to treat people anymore. So, and it's subtle, right? It's like language differences and how someone reacts to what someone else is saying. And I find it to be really refreshing knowing that a lot of these are going into female executives, and that women in the entertainment industry historically have been treated as a commodity. Not on the executive side so much, but definitely in front of the camera. And to see commercials where they're casting real women who are not models and don't weigh 100 pounds and aren't 6 feet tall, but like seeing yourself represented in media is really, really cool and amazing. One of my proudest things is I have a daughter, and she's in a Girl Scout troop, and they are going for a big Girl Scout award, and it's a service project, right? So they have to do all of this service, and they have chosen to talk about how teen girls are represented in media, and healthy relationships being shown on screen, outside of oh, he likes me or he doesn't like me and all of that kind of stuff, outside of the boyfriend stuff. And hearing them talk about what they want to see, and kind of my point of view of what we're trying to accomplish in the industry, we haven't gotten there yet, but knowing that it's a topic of conversation that's being taken seriously, and seeing networks and studios bring on people specifically in roles to help accomplish what our teen girls are asking for it's amazing. So I just hope that Legion M, through our collective leadership, can live up to some of those standards, which is really cool. And I feel like we can.